Who will win more than $40,000 in prizes in the mega massive Oh My Goodness Merry Mortgage giveaway from Cable Bahamas? Find out this Friday, January 24th, as we give away up to $25,000 in mortgage and utility payments, $10,000 in utility payments, and $5,000 in cable payments. The winners will be chosen from finalists from New Providence, Grand Bahama, Eleuthera, and Abaco at our mega event starting at 6:30 p.m. at Cable Bahamas Robinson Road. There will be free food, drinks, and prizes, so come out to party with us. And you can watch live on Cable 12 starting at 7 p.m. with our very own Uncle Darrell Miller. There will be free live entertainment from international recording artist and face of Cable Bahamas, Angelique Sabrina, as well as Autumn Joy Dames and me, Tony Lowe. We'll see you this Friday, January 24th at Cable Bahamas Robinson Road when we give away $40,000 in prizes in the mega massive Oh My Goodness Merry Mortgage giveaway.
Members of the opposition say they are not impressed with last night's BTC announcement made by the government and Cable and Wireless Communications. Progressive Liberal Party Chairman Bradley Roberts stepping in to defend the government over the BTC deal, taking a closer look at the process leading up to the new deal, and a pastor speaking up in the wake of criticism surrounding the gaming referendum nearly 1 year later. We have those stories and much more coming up tonight. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Christina McNeil, and your MB12 starts right now. Thanks for joining us. A lot of reaction today to that Bahamas telecommunications company deal announced last night by the government and Cable and Wireless Communications. As we reported, CWC has agreed to transfer just under 2% of its shares to the government to be held in a trust for the Bahamian people. The trust will be managed by the BTC Foundation, which will be created as part of the deal. Our Nakia DeVoe has reaction from the Free National Movement and the union representing line staff at BTC.
Nothing short of a national embarrassment. That's what the opposition leader called last night's announcement on the BTC deal. Dr. Biddis criticized the Prime Minister for what he said was creating an illusion that he delivered a new deal. He said the Prime Minister is deceiving the nation.
We have gotten nothing new out of this arrangement. The Prime Minister was right to hold his head down during the press conference yesterday because it was shameful for the Prime Minister to pretend that the Bahamian people own an entity that is not vested in the treasury of the Bahamas and whose proceeds are not deposited into the consolidated fund. There has been no change in ownership and no transfer of shares to the Bahamian people.
During a press conference at F&M headquarters this afternoon, Dr. Minnis said the deal is a betrayal of Christie's campaign promise to Bahamians, where, as you saw in a previous clip, he made majority ownership of BTC a major issue. Members of the PLP also repeatedly bashed CWC during their campaign. Head of government's negotiating team for the BTC deal, Franklin Wilson, has long been a critic of the Ingram administration's initial sale of BTC to Cable and Wireless, calling the details shocking. But yesterday, he said an investigation into that deal has absolved CWC of any suspicion of impropriety. The F&M is now calling them out for their change of heart.
Previously, Senator Frank Smith stood up in the Senate and said that BTC, meaning Cable and Wireless, had financially raped the Bahamas. I repeat, financially raped the Bahamas. The lead negotiator, Franklin Wilson, also claimed that there was evidence that the F&M made a bad deal. If the F&M made a bad deal, Christie has now made an even worse deal. Now, for the PLP, there has been a change of heart, and cable and wireless are now trustworthy.
But Bahamas Communications and Public Officers Union President Bernard Evans said neither administration got it right. The union held its own press conference today to respond to last night's announcement.
It is what it is, and we look forward now to further unifying our people.
BCPOU executives say while they feel the government did the best it could with the deal, they say they're not pleased with it. In fact, they say there's no real win.
We knew that management control was out of the question, but we thought that at least board control, that some teeth, some power will be given to the government representative on Cable and Wireless's board. As you know, I believe it's 4-7 currently. And after hearing the Prime Minister's reading out the conditions, the terms and reference of that of the agreement, we see that the 2% was put in the trust and has no share, no board holding, I would say, that trust. And Cable and Wireless will retain the management control and board control. These were monies that I believe that was earmarked anyways for cultural events. And so the trust, I don't know, but it doesn't change what we wanted.
Evans has always insisted the relationship between the union and Cable and Wireless executives was no good. Today, he too responded to Wilson's new assessment of the company.
But we are hopeful that going forward, the same newfound trust that we'll be able to work or be able to recognize the same kind of trust moving forward. Mr. Phil Bentley has only taken over since January 1st of this year. All right, it's not even a full month yet, and so we'll see how that goes. All right, we certainly didn't have any trust with Mr. Tony Rice in those, but we see how Mr. Bentley goes.
Evans says union executives found out about the deal last night after 6 p.m., the same time as the rest of the nation. And although it wasn't their fight, Evans says they would have liked to, at the very least, be kept abreast of the negotiations. Reporting for NB12, I'm Nakia DeVoe.
Well, amid criticism from the opposition that the new agreement with CWC does not give the government managing control of BTC, Progressive Liberal Party Chairman Bradley Roberts blasted the Free National Movement today, calling Dr. Minnis narrow-minded and unpatriotic. Royston Jones reports.
Roberts said he believes that no reasonable Bahamian would object to the tangible benefits of the income derived from the reacquired BTC shares. In response to Minnis, Roberts says the opposition leader simply has a case of sour grapes. While admitting that the government does not hold 51% share interest in BTC, Roberts says the Bahamian people do, and the government should be commended for negotiating a win-win deal for all involved.
To our detractors, gainsayers and critics, I invite you to eat crow and to do so liberally and to choke on it. In the end, this pursuit was not a fool's errand. It was not a waste of time, nor was it a chase after an elusive rainbow, as some have gloated. There was indeed a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, payable to the Bahamian people in perpetuity.
As previously reported, the trust will be managed by the BTC Foundation, which will be created as part of the deal. The shares, which are non-voting shares, represent just under 2% of CWC's total share equity in BTC.
As his political enemies spin, split hairs, brood, and complain, the Prime Minister and his team will move confidently into the next mandate, which is the liberalization of the telecommunications sector, affording Bahamians more service options, better prices, and the access to better technology available globally to increase competition and economic expansion.
With the exclusivity period of BTC ending in April, Roberts says the government will continue to focus on its mandate of liberalizing the telecommunications sector. From PLP headquarters, Royston Jones, NB12.
Last night's BTC announcement came after many months of negotiations between the Christie administration and Cable and Wireless Communications. In this report, Vonique Toot provides some historical context to the government's efforts to restructure the 2011 Ingram administration's deal, which it claimed was bad for the country.
Remember this?
The former government did what we consider to be a very bad deal. Very bad deal.
What about this?
BDC has been sold to foreigners. And the service, I couldn't imagine it being as bad as it is. And you know what? They're overcharging people. They're raping Bahamians.
While speaking in the upper chamber in June 2012, PLP Senator Frank Smith went as far as accusing Cable and Wireless Communications of raping BTC customers. And who could forget that night on Clifford Park in April 2012, when the party's deputy leader, Philip Brave Davis, told a sea of supporters he would push for the appointment of a commission of inquiry within the first 100 days of a PLP government. That commission, he said, would probe the BTC deal, Arawak port deal, and roadworks. Well, 100 days came and went with no inquiry. When asked about the matter on September 13, 2012 at a Rotary luncheon, Davis told reporters he still wants a commission of inquiry, but this time his tone was much different.
The call for that is with the Prime Minister himself, but if you ask me, I would support an inquiry.
And who could forget the Nassau Guardian headline on February 19, 2013, which declared shocking details in the BTC deal. Government's lead negotiator in BTC take-back talks, Franklin Wilson, claimed officials found shocking revelations regarding the 2011 sale.
That is what explains why I said this was a horrendously bad deal. It was a horrendously bad deal.
Despite repeated comments about her horrendously bad deal, though, officials still have not said publicly what was so horrendous about the deal. In fact, during last evening's press conference, Wilson sang an entirely different tune when speaking about CWC.
When this exercise started, there was a lot of talk and rumors about possible impropriety on the part of Cable and Wireless, or whatever the case it might be. I want the world to know that obviously our committee investigated all those rumors. We heard what you heard. We found absolutely no evidence of impropriety.
But that's not the only part of last evening's announcement that raised eyebrows. For nearly 2 years now, the Prime Minister has vowed to regain majority control of BTC. However, his government didn't actually achieve that goal. According to this statement released by Cable and Wireless Communications last night, when all transfers are completed, CWC will hold a marginally larger number of BTC shares than the government. Though the new agreement returns the majority economic interest in the company to the Bahamian people, government still only holds 49%. 2% of CWC's 51% shareholdings go to the BTC Foundation, which has no voting rights, leaving CWC with 49%. However, the company will maintain management and board control of BTC. It brings to mind these words uttered by former Prime Minister Hubert Ingram shortly after the 2012 general election.
The reality is, that many of the things that we did in office are irreversible. Never mind the talk.
Though the deal did not develop in the manner in which many people had expected, some observers agree with the Prime Minister that it is in the best interest of Bahamians. Reporting from Cable 12 Studios for NB12, I'm Vonique Toot.